Supernatural is an app where you can access exclusive content from the Peace Dealer. On the app features 2 seasons of the Midheaven podcast featuring Beyond the Veil. We also have Mystical Illuminations Television, which features membership exclusive content like the monthly tribe reports and the replays of the monthly peace reports we do every month. We also have exclusive series like World War Zero and Astrological Profiles. These series are examples of content that you can access on the app before they are eventually scheduled to YouTube and other social media platforms. For example, my Planets Through the Sign series will be scheduled to release once a week. However, as they are uploaded on the app, you will have full access to the entire series weeks before any of them appear on any other platform. We also offer easily accessible and interactive courses like my Astro 101 to Astro 105 series that give you a thorough introduction to astrology. We will also be periodically adding courses, and as those courses are available, members will be able to access them. We also have an amazing community that you are most welcome to join and chat with other like minds. It is not necessary to subscribe in order to use this app, as there is also a free default access plan that will give you access to most of the series in the app that are free and publicly available. In order to join, go to the website supernatural.passion.io. You can alternatively download from the App Store passion.io. Once the app is downloaded and it asks to find an app, simply type in Supernatural. Once the app itself is approved by Google and Apple, you will only need to type in Supernatural in the App Store and it will pop up. But until then, those are 2 alternative methods you can use to join us. So with all that being said, I look forward to you joining us on the other side as you become supernatural. What it do, what it is, y'all. This is a Peace Dealer, and we are back for the monthly water tribe report for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's go. Scorpio season 2025. Happy birthday, Scorpio. I will leave this available for ya. Oh my God, it's not just me. Banshee 333. I think I have to start smoking weed again because these dreams have been crazy. I think I had like back-to-back ridiculous dreams. And these dreams have to do with like Uzis firing and like trying to escape people, kidnap it. It's so weird. And then there were cool parts of the dream too, but yeah, I haven't smoked it since like Saturday. It's Thursday, and yeah, the dreams have come back full force. It's actually insane. Super disturbing. Okay, I'm so glad you said that right now because I feel not alone. I didn't necessarily think I'm the only one, right? But Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, yeah. We're gonna break down the and happy birthday, Robin. That's amazing. We're gonna break down the Scorpio season transit. Please be advised. This is also for your progressed chart. You are not alone. This is also for the progressed as well, natal and progressed. Dove Visions. I know I don't ask much, but my partner's in the ER after a work incident. Please affirm for her. I'm currently affirming now. I feel overstimulated as fuck right now. Absolutely. Affirm, pray, declare, intend. Yeah. We wish your partner more than the best. And yeah. Unlike all the other tribe reports and peace reports that will be back to membership exclusive, we will keep the water tribe report available. courtesy of Scorpio's birthday. Happy birthday, Scorpio. And like I just said before, okay, this is going to be for the water signs. Okay. Shout out to you guys on Instagram. Last night's dream was crazy. The Fox Wellness Den. I appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the water signs in the building. Okay. So yeah. Whew. Awesome. Daylight savings, huh? Is it? I didn't know we were here again. All right, we're gonna jump right into this. It looks like I forgot to that we did a poll yesterday. It looks like a lot of you think that Libra is indeed not diet Sag. So that's what's up. I honestly had like a quick 50-minute nap before this. I feel pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie. That being said, though, yeah, I'm about ready to close out the week. I was actually surprised it's Thursday. I didn't think we were at the end of the week already. But yeah. That being said, let us start with Cancer. All right. Yeah, it turns out Libra is indeed not diet Sag. So like a good majority of you felt that. I don't know if it's a lot of Libras who are in voting who said no. So we might have to do a representative sample size, but I don't necessarily think they're diet Sag either. Now Virgo is diet Scorpio, but that being said, you feel me? Like it is what it is, right? That's cool. Like I can see these other two signs are distinct in and of themselves. All right. Okay, so Cancer progressed, Cancer rising. Libra is a classy Sagittarius. I will say that. Libra is like a classy, polished. You could even say they're like a classy Sag, or Sagittarius is like a wild Libra. I'm done. Never mind. Sag is just wild. Period. They're not wild. They're just wild. Yeah, we're gonna find it out. We're gonna figure out the link. How do I say this? They're like a balanced Sagittarius. I don't know. Sagittarius is like Libra with ADHD. Unless Libra already has ADHD. Yeah, just give them ADHD, possibly autism. Boom, they're Sagittarius. I'm done. I don't. Does that work? Or a Libra, unhinged Libra? Who knows? A put together Sag. That's crazy. Okay. Oh my God. I'll claim Scorpio 0 over diet Scorpio. That's so funny. All right, Cancer. So as we know, you had me walking all the way to the office just to type this out. Libra not diet anything. I'll give you that. Libra, yes. I feel like Aries, you're your own sign. I get it. Libra makes the ADHD look pretty. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So Cancer, we know Jupiter is in your sign. And Libra can't even be Libra. It's wild. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. So Jupiter is retrograding in your sign this season. And that's amazing, especially considering that, you have been pretty much the forefront of this new wave. So the Jupiter in Cancer is a new wave, mind you. Late June, when we had the Sun conjunct Jupiter, that was the official activation of this new wave. Cancer, of course, which is the final individual sign. that bridges into Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. Social activity, frame activity. But like, yeah, the social integration coming from the first integrative sign, Cancer, understanding, feeling, depth of emotion. And now that it will be retrograding, you get to revisit everything since late June and how in a short amount of time you have been leveling up. You get to be now, Cancer, you're feeling what Aries, Taurus, and especially Gemini have gone through when Jupiter has gone through their sign. Obviously, this isn't the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or eighth, I skipped sixth and seventh time that Jupiter has gone through a sign. It happens every 12 years. But there's just something about this go around that I think is more than just historic, albeit any time period can say their go around is historic. But yes, and Cancer, I think you're feeling it now. And I think that's awesome. We know that Scorpio is now going to represent. By the way, I just realized NLE Choppa dropped a diss track to YB. Don't ask me why. I just woke up and I saw a live of DJ Academics talking about it. So I was completely clueless to any static before. But I think he represents Scorpio Nation. So that's what's up. I think he's born Scorpio season. That's what's up. That being said, and I think Young Boy is a Libra. So that's what's up. But or was born Libra season. But yes, Scorpio is going to represent the crystallization, the depth and quality of emotion that Cancer will fully express. I like this analogy because it's very easy to demonstrate, don't he? I mean, I don't know what Scorpio is supposed to look like, but at the same time, I do. It's weird if you compare with it. But like, yes. So with that being said, Cancer to me is a liquid. It's cardinal water, right? It's the actual function of feeling. All right. And then Scorpio is fixed water. And then Pisces is mutable water. Okay. We know there's about recognized 3 states of water. You have the liquid, you have the solid, you have the gas, right? You listen to some music from Pisces, you're like, this shit is gas. I thought I would just throw that in there. But yes, that being said, you have the function of feeling, right? And that's what Cancer represents. I feel that shit, right? We can even practice this in order for you to kind of understand the divinity chain of water. Cancer is the holy water that the priest is going to sprinkle on you non-tithe paying scrubs who are just coming to our church. Okay. Now we have to preach the sermon, wondering why you aren't paying your membership fees. I mean tithe, and you come in here to the church. Okay, and I love that because you can see like Cancer, suns, moons, risings, their aura is made up of holy water. If they haven't been like R-worded, and maybe like betrayed and their waters aren't like poisoned, they have a natural holy aura. So evil people just get irritated around water signs. Like water signs who are pure, water signs can feel it too. If you go against just evil, disgusting, nasty people, it's like when you kind of like touch their not emotion, their triggers or whatever. You can see this real time, and it's pretty dope. It's somewhat subtle, but you know it's not. They're not gonna miss it. I might be oblivious to some, but they're not gonna miss it. Scorpio can lock it up, but like, yeah, right. Cancer is gonna be holy water. Scorpio is now gonna be purity, pure water, And then now Pisces is divinity. Okay. So let's show you what that looks like. So Cancer is the function of feeling. Okay. You're welcome. I want you to feel any emotion. Okay. And once again, message from Cancer too. When people can't really manipulate you, they really start to project whatever they think is going to like get on your nerves or push you, but they're also showing you their hand. When people throw names at you and say stuff at you, that's because that's all they can do. And when they see that truly doesn't affect you, despite the way they're just going to talk about you, you're literally watching real time the frustration. And keep that in mind, because that's really all they're really gonna it's a huge like punching their fist in the air, like especially people who will take maybe things that they think you're supposed to feel bad about that you have done in the past, and they see that it genuinely doesn't bother you and they can't really use it to make you feel a certain way. They like punch their fist in the air without punching their fist in the air. So be very mindful of that. Aspect we can actually tie this to is not just the Pluto square, from social intensity to the collective blah blah blah, but we can also speak on the nodes. They fucking hate that shit. Like normally there's certain things people can put over you, but when you're just like, okay, cool, whatever, what's your point, what's up, and it's like they can't really do anything about it, they're gonna act cool, right? But just keep in mind, they're pretty much showing you their hand. Outside of that, all they can do is talk about you to other people, but now your dick is in their mouth. They literally can't go a day without talking about you. And that's where like a lot of people really lower themselves without you having to go down there and mud wrestle with them. Hence them wanting to bring you down. Okay. Which is why it's very important to stand on everything you've ever done and do. And watch as people try to use those things. That darkness gets so mad when you're pure. Right. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did this. And I'm like, you're welcome. Yeah. What's up? Do you have a problem with it? What you trying to do? What's up? It's cool though. That being said, please feel anything. We could say feel happiness, feel anger, feel indifferent. All right, if that's a feeling. But basically, yeah. Well, what do you want me to do? All right. There's especially through the Scorpio season, a depth of more bitterness, especially because I think, and maybe some of you can sense it, there have been plans from others to manipulate you or coerce you towards a direction, and you're not going for it, right? It's just you're not catching on, and they're trying to do all these things to try and pressure you. It doesn't work. Peer pressure you. It doesn't work. Insult you. You don't care. Many of you acting nonchalant towards stuff, and it's like it doesn't affect you. Like psychic attacks don't affect ghost or dark type Pokemon. So you might even be so absorbed into what you're doing, minding your business, like being clueless, you may not even fully even realize how much people are telling on themselves, how much people are like infuriated though. Like you're literally living your life. They go beyond. So just keep that in mind. That is always coming from a place where people may act cool about it. That, personally really reveals what's in them and how misery truly loves company. So yeah, let's say in this sense, you are feeling joy, right? Or let's say you're feeling irritation. Just take any feeling, right? So that function of actually feeling is Cancer. The actual action, the cardinal action of feeling. All right. Anything you feel. Emotions are more like ghosts that possess you. You could say that's like a Piscean concept. It's like an experience that gives you the perspective to actually feel. Okay. And it's important to grasp that, because the more intense you feel, this is why Scorpio is very susceptible to evil, because they're pure. Scorpio is actually a pure energy. So the more intense and pure that you feel, the more intensely it could veer either way. It's like when you're driving really fast, subtle small movements can go either way. And that's, I would say that's like a classic story of Scorpio. Every evil Scorpio really is someone who is deeply betrayed, someone with intense emotions who are deeply betrayed. And it's harder for them than others to kind of get over those emotions, because it's just so deep, right? The emotions are ghosts. Thank you. Yeah, it really changed the way I look at feelings too. It's like, if you think about emotions that just take over you, it's like a ghost, right? It's like an experience that now influences what you feel more. And when you understand it like that, it really helps you revisit what thoughts and feelings really are yours versus a collective influence of you being taken over or you being influenced to feel or think a certain way. Okay. But okay, so the cardinal stop. The cardinal Oh my god. The cardinal function, the actual action, um is Cancer. Okay. And now when you take that feeling, so let's say you felt joy, right? Let's say you feel happy, or let's say you feel calm. But let's do like an actual feeling that has a range. So let's say you feel happy, right? I feel good. Wow. Wow. I just went down on my crush, and that tasted amazing. I feel good. Wow. She really tastes great down there. And by down there, I mean um the soup that I ate. Okay, she made some soup for me, and that tasted very amazing. Okay, it was called kitty soup, but she didn't use cats to make it. It was just called kitty soup. All right, and that just makes me feel so happy. Like, wow, holy shit. Just in case there's any age sensitive, right? We had kitty soup. It's just named that for inspiration. No cats were harmed yet in the making of this soup. It's called kitty cat soup. And I'm happy, okay? Now Scorpio takes this feeling, or understand Scorpio. It takes this emotion and it intensifies it. That's literally it. So Cancer is the function of feeling. I just ate some kitty soup. Yes, that was amazing. Peter approved. And now I'm happy. Now Scorpio is the quality of this feeling and emotion. So you can take the emotion of happiness, right? But then what's the quality of it? Is it just like yeah, I'm a little happy? Or is it like, I'm beaming? Yeah, right? So like, I'm happy. I'm not a water sign. That's why this is an air sign trying to explain emotions. This is basically a robot trying to explain emotions to you because I'm like an earth air sign. But like please peep the irony of this. But yes, Cancer is the function of feeling the feeling, and then Scorpio is the quality of it. Let's say the knob. What is the strength of this emotion? So you can and that's why Scorpios in their base form feel things very intensely, given its intimate social nature that's going to take into account not just the individual emotion, because Cancer is just how you feel. Scorpio is how you and I feel, and how we have to trust each other or merge said feelings. Okay. So now you feel happy, but what's the quality of this feeling? Is it or is it wee? Right? Or you feel mad. Cancer is feeling mad. Scorpio is feeling super mad. You see how like you can feel the mad, but you can. Scorpio is the intensity where you start shaking because it's that intense, right? So now we've taken the power of the feeling, and then we're strengthening in Scorpio the quality of the feeling. Okay. And then what does Pisces represent, which is now a collective belief, universal, the vibration, that intensity and quality of feeling produces an effect. And now the experience of that feeling, this is why you can say Pisces is music. All the zodiac signs are a part of music, but Pisces will represent music and what it sounds like, what it feels like, right? But like, now if I'm super mad, what's the experience of me being super mad? What does this feel? What is the experience of the feeling? That's what Pisces represents. And then based on that feeling, based on that experience, based on the perception of this emotion, that's going to direct through Cancer, that's going to influence what direction I feel, what next I feel with Cancer. And that's the triplicity right there. Okay. I dare say Scorpio intensifies it. And then Pisces will, of course, have you experience the quality. All right. Pisces now transcends you beyond through certain emotions that, like ghosts, can take over you. But if the quality of that emotion is weak, the experience is going to be weak. The stronger the Scorpio quality, the more you experience in Pisces, right? If you put your water faucet on and you blast it at full blast, it's going to have a stronger flow, and then there's going to be more dripping, versus if you just do drip, 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 drip. So that's a really good way to look at cardinal fixed mutable. That's a really good way to look at, of course, with the water, these feelings. Okay. So Scorpio for Cancer represents their creative talents and expression. I've never really met a Cancer that can't sing. I'm sure they exist, but by nature, water signs I can see would be great talents and great singers because they feel so deeply. Anyone who kind of comes from the heart, like a passionate fire sign, but really water has this level of depth in them that makes it almost impossible for them not to really be as talented as they are. there's a way Cancer sing where you can like feel the pain in their voice. Honestly, it's not specific to zodiac sign. You can hear pain in anyone's voice, right? But there's a depth of feeling that Cancer is able to reach, where they do the I just ate some kitty Sorry. So, like, yes, you feel me? And you feel me? So, like, Scorpio is now the intensity and the depth of quality, fifth house from Cancer, that fully focuses and intensifies what they feel. I think that one aspect alone is why Cancer comparatively has the highest statistical average of murder. And I love that it's not premeditated murder. It's like crimes of passion. It's just like, you're cheating on me? Blah, 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 blah. Or I'm sorry. Oh no, what did I do? Or I know what I did. Like, it's amazing. It's actually amazing. I think Ariana Grande is a great example. Even though she has the Libra moon. So, like, yeah. I think they would. Scorpio would definitely be premeditated. But the thing with Scorpio and stats like this is the signs you don't see on the list are the ones that get away with it the most. I want you to think about it like that. I want you to think about it. So if you see these statistical averages of who commits the most murders, the ones you don't see get away with it. That's why they're not on the list. They get other people to do it. You feel so? Like, I mean, to me, I would have to prove that. That's just speculation, but I would think maybe that's true. Scorpio is not getting caught. Capricorn paid off the cops. They not getting caught. That's why you see the mutable signs there, because who are they paying to do this? A mutable sign will do it. Virgo will do it on their own. They don't need anyone to pay them. But, like, you know, Sag will do it for some money. Gemini can probably be I don't know. But yeah, Missy Elliott, Lil Kim, 50 Cent. This is power. This is psychic power, right? Aquarius, of course, is getting away with it all the time. So, like, Scorpio in the fifth, and vice versa. Scorpio in the fifth, right? Gemini just needs to instigate to Aries and be like, yeah, this motherfucker, this dude, Libra was calling you a bitch. I don't know why. I'm sure they meant good by it, but like, yeah, I don't know why they were calling you that. Aries said, Libra said what? Yeah, I don't know. Libra sounded like they were calling you a bitch. Virgo too. I don't know why Virgo was calling you, but like, yeah, it's like, oh, okay. We gonna see what they do. Yeah, it happens all the time. We invented this instigation shit before like Virgo and Libra refined it. But Scorpio in the fifth house, right? It's a pure intensity and transformative quality of how deep they can express their talents. Okay. And this Scorpio season is not only integrating how you are transforming your relationship with your inner child, but real shit. Oh my God, that's wild. Yeah, I apologize on behalf of Gemini. that ain't right. I hope he at least held you down, because that's not even fair. But like, yes, you see how I didn't even doubt it. Like, I already know you tell the truth. But like, yeah. That being said, you know what I mean? I will say the only time I got in a fight, I have Aries in my 12th house. The only time I got in a fight, I didn't know my Aries homie was behind me. So by the time I came to, I didn't realize that he already cracked a bottle over the person who headbutted me. This is like back in 2010. I didn't know. I've never been in a fight before. So like I body slammed the dude. And later I'm like, what possessed me to body slam somebody in a fight who headbutts me? But when I was going to punch him, he was already knocked out. And I didn't know why. And I found out after the fact, as soon as he headbutted me, my Aries friend cracked a bottle over his head. Y'all are about it. That's how I'm about to say. Y'all, he was a shorter, beaking up people taller than him. But yeah, other than that, man, this integration of your creativity is coming in relation to this expansion and evolution of your personality. So unlike previous Scorpio seasons, because this isn't the first time you are firmware updating how much more creative you are. Now you've leveled up, right? You've evolved like a Pokemon. You are Cancera. You were Cancer, but now you're Cansar. Nah, that's just not it. We're going to tentative name. We're going to find out your evolution name. But so now, like the way you used to be creative, now there's so much more power you're working with, which would presuppose you can be even more creative. Okay. And this is the season, especially with the trine of Jupiter, Mercury and Mars ahead of time have been processing your ideas and having you simulate action that takes into account this evolution. And then the sun will trine Jupiter, and you're going to be aware of how much more creative you can be. Cancer rising, Cancer sun, and even to the Cancer moons, you're going to feel this expansion and feel how it's, of course, strengthening it. So if you activated what you feel about yourself in July, now you are socially expressing this, of course, your feelings about yourself with others, diving more intimately. I can see now why Cancer men are the players of the zodiac, and why Cancer women are in their own way very gorgeous, because there's the water energy is able to, water power is Cancer, but water energy is Scorpio. So luring, there's a depth to it that can tempt you into its waters. And before you know it, they've drowned you and you're dead. And now they're feeding on your soul. But that being said, okay, that's linking to Saturn and Neptune and Pisces. So it's putting you in a position to revisit and reevaluate this unlocking of your third eye. So Saturn, Neptune in the North Node in Pisces has not only been unlocking your third eye, and by third eye, I mean the philosophical approach towards higher minded ideals and beliefs through your imagination, the belief systems that construct how you approach success, right? Unlike Capricorn, who we said their approach is opposite you, Cancer, they take an analytical approach. Capricorn, the big boss CEO, doesn't really care about your spiritual beliefs. They're about to drop $1 billion on an ad campaign. They don't really give a fuck about, well, do you feel like we should does your intuition say we should drop the money? They're like, run me the fucking numbers, because their ninth house is Virgo. So like, let me see some charts. Let's analyze it. What worked? What are the returns looking like? But see, Capricorn is like peak of adult, like age 60. It takes a much older, mature response. Cancer is like age 7 to 12, right? A younger kid, or age like, 9 to 12, give or take 15, a younger child getting ready to go into high school, right, is going to be a lot more imaginative. If you think about feelings, right, this is going to be more sensitive to emotions and intuition. So it's through the imagination that they're able to discern through third house Virgo how what they're imagining is actually real. And that's psychic ability. A classic idea of this is Charlemagne the God. Before anybody knew that Drake was going to sue, they asked him, what do you think he's going to do? Oh, he's going to sue. Did he use any like crazy psychic abilities? Was he like, let me look into the future? Third house Virgo, a mindset of analysis. He was able to just psychoanalyze someone's character and based on a light analytical understanding of someone know what he was going to do. And then what it happened, right? That's just like a basic realistic sense of psychic ability. You wouldn't even really call it psychic ability, but that's what it is. He didn't need to light candles, right? Because a lot of the Cancer archetype of the psychic actually entails analysis. It actually entails some rational level of thinking. We just think of the Pisces side more, the irrational part. But to be psychic is to bridge the irrational with the rational. Because if you don't bridge the rational part, you're just a fraud. But if you're able to do both, now you are performing a real skill. And now the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo was unlocking this analytical mindset and the analysis necessary to really unlock what you're meant to believe and how that guides your philosophical approach towards showing people the unseen nature of your abilities, feeling stuff before it's going to happen, feeling what people are feeling real time, right? And Saturn and Neptune have been transcending, but also adding integrity to real lived experiences that show you real time. You are psychic as fuck. And now you are even more psychic now than you have ever been. All right. So it's not like you're just seeing visions through your imagination. You're able to translate it literally. You're able to like break down how what you're sensing really makes sense. And then it might happen. Okay. And now Scorpio is going to intensify the quality with which you can realistically fully express that. So just like we kind of spoke of that trinity, a lot of what you are integrating socially, which Scorpio is not just second stage integration, you're going to carry that into Sagittarius and then integrate the higher meaning of the vision you see and how you form your routine and lifestyle. AKA, you're going to ascend to the next level, your routine, your behavioral patterns. That connects with the ninth house in Pisces, which is the higher perceptual angle that will influence how much more you feel about yourself and what you feel about yourself. So now that I've gotten that terminology out the way, this Pisces aspect with the North Node, Saturn, Neptune, it's unlocking supernatural abilities to see beyond reality through your imagination. And like that is supposed to sound pseudo. That is supposed to sound retarded. But I'm willing to bet every Cancer listening to this right now, you don't need me to tell you. Like you can teach me about how you do this. Like I'm trying to talk about what you're doing. You actually live this. You've been experiencing this shit since a child, right? Especially if we're going to take into account dreams, because dreams is a metaphysical astral nature with which you can really gain insight. But we also want to talk about the subtle, quick moments that are quicker than your brain can process that really key you into this insight and you feel very powerfully. So Scorpio is going to extend the quality of now how much more creatively and with talent you can fully express these abilities. The reason why this is important is now Uranus going through Gemini will produce a sense of psychosis. Okay. And Pharaoh, I really like that you're posting your receipts on Instagram, right? Um, I'm not trying to hate when I say this because I know how skeptics can be, and I know how people can like try and downplay and diminish stuff. So the predictions you're making will look vague as fuck to people. It'll kind of look like it's not really a prediction, but you're headed in the right direction. Please keep doing what you're doing because you're going to refine it. You're going to be a lot more specific. You're headed. This is how it begins. It's gonna kind of feel, it's gonna start small, right? But yeah, you can attribute Jupiter and Cancer to expanding how much more maybe ambitious you get, right? And how you kind of push further with it. And yes, twin star seed. Keep at it too. You're also someone else who posts your receipts as far as this, and water being in an earth dimension, right? It's going to be met with criticism, as it should be, right? Iron sharpens iron. This kind of helps you develop and refine more the approach of what you're doing, right? So with that being said, um the there's a way I'm wanting to really, the Saturn is crystallizing how much more the totality of everything you can perceive. And because Pisces is metaphysical, it blends everything. I'm learning a bit more. I'm kind of resetting my knowledge of the fourth dimension. And I just now learned that you can look at it as third dimensional cross sections that right are different. So like there's a way you can see things blend collectively all in one. We're going to talk about this with Pisces, who embodies this and is a mirror of that. But Cancer, that ninth house can almost converge. Like it's hard to put into words, but like let's say there's everything happening separately, right? But then you see a truck pass by, and then it says "you are," and it goes next to a store that says "a little shop," right? A little shop, and then you see like someone walking their dog. And so like there's a certain level of perception that's going to be subjective. You can't objectively say that's the case, but you looked right at the right time, right? And the truck goes through and it's like "you are," and then the shop says "a little," and then you see someone walking their female dog, bitch, right? So it's like the universe told you you are a little bitch, right? And like you can see stuff like it's gonna look like psychosis. I'm gonna just be completely honest, right? Let's say before you saw that, you were talking shit with the universe. You're like, man, you can't play me like that. And then you look to the right and you see that. So now, realistically, these were just a series of independent actions that seemingly converged together. And you need to subjectively make that perception. So that's, if that makes sense. So that's where you can't say it's objective, but it's still a subjective personal message to you. That idea of and the thing is, you could be crazy, but in order to perceive, this is why it's really difficult. A lot of things are conflated. In order to perceive supernaturally, you have to be crazy. You have to be to a certain degree delusional in order to process supernatural experiences that happen outside the box of what is considered normal. So that's why, telepathy is in some cases going to manifest as auditory hallucinations, where your brain may not even really be able to really process what's happening. It might feel crazy. And over the rest of the decade, Uranus going through your 12th house in Gemini is going to feel like a huge paranoid auditory hallucination. I'm sorry, a paranoid schizophrenic delusion that unless you surrender to this innovation of everything that you thought possible, and you allow society to gaslight you mercilessly, like Libra and Capricorn always do, then you will go batshit insane. Okay. It doesn't really affect Pisces because Pisces knows how to play dumb and they're okay with looking delusional as fuck. Cancer, you're very susceptible with this. Like Pisces is openly delusional, so they don't really care. Cancer, you care a lot. Okay, like let's be honest, you care a lot. So I think Pluto in Capricorn has taught you that if you allow the world around you, they will gaslight you to death. They will gaslight you to death. I don't like to overuse the word gaslight, but I will always use it with you guys. In my opinion, Cancer is the most gaslighted zodiac sign by far. You can't really gaslight a cold motherfucker like Scorpio. Scorpio is the coldest zodiac sign. You can't really gaslight Scorpio. They gaslight other people. Scorpio will be offended. Scorpio like, I'm supposed to gaslight you. You can't gaslight me. So they recognize that shit. You can't gaslight these people. And then you can gaslight Pisces, but Pisces is literally in their own dimension. So like, it's not gonna work. And they're legendary gaslighters too. Cancer gets gaslighted every day. Especially relative in simple stuff. Like a Cancer will say, are you feeling this? And then you're like, no, I'm not feeling that. But they felt what you were feeling. And they're like, okay. And I know because I'm the one lying and gaslighting to them all the time. Like, the Capricorn moves like, how dare you tell me how I feel? And you catching me instinctually. I'm not trying to open up vulnerably. So I'm like, no, what are you talking about? You know I'm lying. I know I'm lying. And mind your business. But like, yes, it is what it is. It's not until I've progressed into Cancer and I'm like, this is what you guys are feeling. I don't know how y'all do it. You can just feel the energy in a room. I really enjoyed being emotionless and like a robot. But like, yeah. That being said, it's important because you're getting ready to apply this towards the next 2 years of achieving success that is original and has never been achieved before. Okay. And it's definitely going to put you in a position to now stand on the integrity of how you translate these real abilities and in this divine perspective, as this will further put you more in a position to break through with this like never before. Because as Saturn and Neptune go into Aries next year in your 10th, you're going to be completing a karmic cycle that didn't begin since 2003. For those of you who were born even before 2003. And you're going to be achieving milestone victory. The North Node has already left Aries. So you've unlocked over the past 2 years everything you're meant to do to carve the pathway to this, to be in the direction of that. So Uranus that's retrograding out of Gemini is sneak peeking next year. And it's wrapping your brain around showing you different possibilities of what direction you can take in your life. Especially for those of you wrapped up in higher education, you're going through college, you're thinking of teaching, right? You're developing a curriculum. A lot of your perspective is actively shifting to rechange your trajectory to where you're meant to go. And Mercury going into Sagittarius is going to apply this depth of creativity towards how you see you live your life with it. So Uranus in the 12th is very difficult to talk about. Geminis, we just went through this, and I still can't really tell you. I mean, the way I processed this, it was radical isolation. Now that Uranus is coming out my 12th, I'm going to prepare to like start going out again. But this level of radical isolation has exponentially skyrocketed my supernatural and psychic abilities. I've also been crazier than I've ever been, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm cool with that type of thing though. This might really bother you because ours is in Taurus. 12th house Gemini is the weakness of overthinking. If 12th house are unconscious habits and thoughts, embodying the feeling portal, it could be overthinking, having unconscious habits of just being in your head. For every Cancer who's just silent and listening, they're having like 56 different conversations in your head. 40 of those, they're like frying you. They're like, this motherfucker don't know. I'm like going in on their shoes right now. But like they're not some of them aren't entirely all me. So like the idea around what you believe and why that's important is because when you release that overthinking, you are able to be in tune with your intuition more. And the reason why it's weird is there's this ever inquisitive, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? When it really doesn't matter what you know to do. And you just kind of flow and you have to have that follow you. It's so hard to put into words because it's easier said than done. So now Mercury opposite Uranus is going to take this radical release of these unconscious habits, and it's going to show you how to innovate how it is you apply the vision of this in your lifestyle. This is going to be a theme you really step into more so than ever next year when we officially start this conjunction. Because 2026 to 2032, before Uranus and Saturn go into Cancer, and now you begin to embody this, Uranus is going to go into Gemini. And that, I think, is going to create, it's preparing to give you unconscious competence in your psychic ability. So basically, what that looks like is you've always been psychic, but over the rest of the decade, you're about to be so psychic. It's like you could be talking to someone and it's like, yeah, I think maybe we might be able to get tickets to go to the show. Bring. Hey, do you want tickets to go to the show? Like it's going to be instant. You are innovating an unconsciously competent form of psychic ability where you're not even conscious of why it is you know what you know. Literally like an individualized form of Pisces. Like Pisces don't really know why they know what they know, but like they're universal entities. Never mind their identity. You are an individual that feels who you are. So this is going to really influence with Mars that will cross over as well, how it is you continue to take action in this capacity. Okay. And what it is you're more in a position to really gain with that as well. So as Mars goes through here and as Mercury retrogrades, before we step into Sagittarius, where you will actually now see how it is you're creating these new routines, you're going to be reevaluating while you're developing the depth of your creativity to account for how much you have evolved. Okay, I see this is possible, but let me I can change this, I could do this. And then it's going to really revisit how much more passionate you are and creative you are about creating what you'll be creating. Okay, so that grand water trine for the water signs is going to be one of realization, and it's going to be one of deeper depth. And now in that vein, let's actually segue to Scorpio. By the way, I see Lady V, you ordered the Romance Tarot report, so I will work on that tomorrow. Okay, I see you got that. I've been enjoying the tarot readings; they've been very fun. So I look forward to that. Once again, for those of you who would like a reading, please feel free. I have all my reports and readings 30% off right now. You are more than welcome. Okay. So outside of that, now Scorpio, unlike Cancer, who is going to be integrating the ascension of their routine and behavioral patterns, what I've been wanting to explore and experiment with this is Scorpio has Sagittarius. So Scorpio is the first zodiac sign to manifest universal anything. In this case, universal magic. Do you create progressed natal houses? That's a good question. So what exactly do you mean by progressed natal houses? That's a really good question. I like to, when I do my readings, I put the progressed wheel on the outside so I can blend the progressed planets within the natal houses. But yeah, I want to make sure I get what you're saying. But like, yeah, Sagittarius, Scorpio manifests fire magic. So while a Sagittarius is chaos magic, Scorpio risings, and to a degree, Scorpio suns and moons can manifest chaos magic. They can conjure fire. All right. I couldn't believe I learned that. Now that looks like wisdom. Scorpio, with which is wisdom, can manifest higher perspectives, like the housing chart for a person's progressed signs. Yes. Good. Okay. Yeah. Basically, I can see your natal chart, and then we'll have the progressed in green, and then you can see where they've progressed into, and we can look at the progressed chart too, and those houses as well. All right. Progressed natal. Okay. I see what you mean. So yeah, in that being said, Scorpio representing depth of wisdom and psychoanalysis produces what? The higher perspective, the experience of meaning. Okay. So let's revisit the mutable signs, right? Yep. Always run the progressed chart alone too. So I'll have the natal chart, and then I'll have the progressed chart, but then the natal chart will have the progressed over it. And yeah, house rulership. Now the house rulership from the aspect is some advanced shit. And I always recommend, always kudos to those of you who do that. That's like the next step. I keep it basic, but that is always clutch, always clutch. So now let's remind ourselves about what the mutable signs are. And like, so Gemini answers the question, what? Virgo answers the question, how? Sagittarius now takes Virgo's analysis, and then it synthesizes the meaning. And then Pisces answers the question, why? And I realized the mutable signs is not only the axis of magic, but it's also the process of the scientific method. It's also the process, really, of scientific experiments. Because if you think about a scientific experiment, you form the hypothesis, right? And then by the time you get to Pisces, that develops the theory, the belief. So you start off with the hypothesis, and then you have to set up variables to experiment with. That's Gemini. What's the idea? What are we working with? Then after you do your experiment, you have to analyze the results of the experiment, right? So how is it that what we just experimented makes sense, right? We're going to look at all the data that we got from the experiment, and we're going to analyze how is this significant? That's Virgo. Virgo is the part of an experiment that brings us real perspective. But then now, after you analyze the data, then you take the analysis and you have to determine, how do we interpret this data? You're going to say, okay, this is our analysis. Well, what does it mean? That's Sagittarius, looking at the data and showing people what it means. Hence, Gemini is the word in the dictionary, lit. And then Sagittarius is what the word means. A fly ass motherfucker who be doing fire shit. Okay, like that's the Sag is the meaning of the word, the meaning of the word, and then Gemini is the word. Okay. And then once you interpret and that's the cool thing about life, people have different interpretations. This is where now Sagittarius gets universal. Virgo is social, and Gemini is individual, because I individually can come up with the hypothesis. But now Virgo is social, because we need peer-reviewed research. We need to research how to make this hypothesis real. I need to take my analysis and have multiple different eyes criticize it. Virgo of criticism, right? It's impartial. It's not supposed to be heard. It's supposed to be critical. And then Sagittarius is universal. So you can have massive debates around how people interpret the same data that certain people made. And people can replicate it. People can reimagine it in a totally different way. But Sagittarius now brings the interpretation. And then based on that meaning, Pisces now answers, well, why? Why does it mean that? That closes the reasoning loop. And then you form a theory. This is what makes you form a belief based on the experimentation, analysis, and interpretation. And then after you form that belief, what do? You do it all over again. Okay, now that we believe this, what are we going to experiment now? What do we need to tweak about our initial experiment? And then boom, that's literally it. This is also the axis of magic. And mutable signs are changeable. So now at the Scorpio is perspective. So cardinal is power, it's force. That force produces fixed energy. This is fixed on an axis. If I push this powerfully, it's going to go fast, versus if I push it slow, it's not going to go. This is a fixed mechanic. It's holding the strength here. But now mutable is, do I want it at this angle? Do I want it at this angle closer to me? Right? What's the perspective? If I do this here, you're not really going to hear me that well. If I angle it properly, you're going to hear me perfectly. So like Scorpio is now the fixed quality of wisdom. Virgo's perceptual analysis strengthens into this quality and depth of Scorpio psychoanalysis. And the psychoanalytical depth of wisdom produces what? Meaning, vision. And this is why Scorpios can show you the bigger picture and literally just boom, whether deceptively or truthfully. Okay. So we can start with that because, of course, you know, and Capricorn is very powerful with this. Capricorn is going to be the height of ethos, which makes it very powerful to control the interpretation, because it's not as simple as just lying about everything. If there is great work behind what they do, and Capricorn of reputation, if you're known as America's doctor, right? But see, what I loved about this was Rand Paul is also a Capricorn. So you needed a Capricorn to call out the Capricorn, one with the Scorpio moon and the other with the Gemini moon, right? It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And that's not to say, I don't want to say one was right or one was wrong, but it was nice to see these dynamics and to see it clash, right? But Capricorn, in theory, outside of him or not, right? You can rest behind your ethos. Like, you have just such a great reputation that if you did want to control stuff, if you did want to sin of omission stuff, you can carry through your ethos. But that it's not as simple as that as well. But that being said, you know, Scorpio is putting you now with Sagittarius, Mercury and Mars that are coming out of your first house into second in Sagittarius, is going to show you how much money you making. All right. It's going to show you your value. And this is cool. So Scorpio manifests money, through magic, right? Now it's even cooler. This is really weird to say, but I have the idea in theory that Scorpio can see what they're worth. And if you see you're a millionaire, you're going to become a millionaire. That should sound ridiculous. Like, really? I just have to see myself being rich? Yeah. Especially given how intensely you feel, it's easy for you to wallow in your reality. Scorpio can be too real. And now you're seeing that, damn, I'm broke, and you're even broker. But if you see yourself popping bottles and you just super rich around rich people, It manifests really quickly. Scorpio risings and Scorpios manifest lightning fast because you're manifesting chaos magic. And because Sagittarius and Pisces are high magics, this represents warping reality in a way where the entire world around you shifts to align with your vision. Unlike Aquarius, that will now take this a step further into their beliefs and imagination. Now, this Sagittarius second house, so focus is key, is the quality with which this leads to Pisces in your fifth house. You manifest the vision so that you can fully express your imagination and your beliefs, your dreams, right? Pisces being this place of your talents enables you to approach this like a legend would. You have legendary talent. So when we progress into Sag, we are more adept to manifest quicker and have a closer connection to chaos magic. Great question, because in one sense, you are progressing into that second house or progressing into that 30 to 60 degree space. But I would dare say Scorpio's progression into Sagittarius is you literally becoming a god. So you're leaving the underworld. So you're transforming into godhood. And you are being the chaos. You are being this ascension awareness of the creator. And it's not even just manifesting quicker. It's realizing you are everything and everything is you. It's all happening at once. And that's why you're able to align, bordering this whole lens of like things that have always been like this predetermined quality that almost like has you, I don't even know how to put it in words, like remote control that stuff. Okay. And I love that. I love it. And especially if you've made it into Capricorn and that past the Sag. So personally, right, I don't even want to say it's like the law of attraction and the law of assumption, where it's like, if you just see that you're rich, you're going to be rich. By the way, that works for Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces the best. Like water signs are the best of that type of stuff. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about right now. Like you can literally see, it's like a supernatural magical ability. Like you can literally see $10,000 and be like, wow, that's mine. And then boom, you have it. It's almost as if your casting of this visual impetus creates the situation, which I think is a quality you have that others don't have unless they progress into it or unless they have, they're right. Especially given the maturity of that consciousness, it now enables you to manifest higher perspectives that put you on a higher level, that have you communicate at a higher level as well. So Mercury that's going to retrograde in your second house is going to quickly reevaluate your wealth. And that's where we have to bring in Uranus that's coming out of your eighth house. Because now Uranus coming back into your seventh house is revisiting since 2018, 7 years of unconventionally innovating the quality of your relationships with other people. And this could look like unexpected enemies just like getting at you, but it could also look like unexpected development of partnerships and support as well. Really, it also represents this uncanny quality with which your presence is like a Wi-Fi broadband connector, making people more psychic who are around you. Taurus is doing this in an individual level, one-on-one, but Scorpio, I'm pretty sure you can see this real time. You can walk into a room and now like people are 10 times more intuitive and psychic. Like the way I would presume this, I remember Christian Dixie shared a real life example of this, even though he's Aquarius. So that's a celestial level. Someone could be looking for like their phone. And then when you walk in the room, they instantly find their phone. And they don't know it's because of you. They don't know it's because your auric field. Yeah, I know. Your auric field expanded their frequency. And they could be thinking, wow, I'm dope now. And really, you just gave them the sauce. Like you really, and it could be annoying for some of you, because some people could be acting like it's them making you make it. It's like they put you on, but it's like, no, I'm pretty sure I made you what you did right now. And it's very clear, because you can just fall back and watch everything just collapse. Okay, like it doesn't have to collapse. It doesn't have to be like that. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a general quality here that will not only innovate your relationships, but now that it's getting ready to go into Gemini, this is going to innovate the quality of your wealth. Your eighth house is other people's money. So you're manifesting your vision and you're investing the ideas birthed from your vision towards others. Eighth house Gemini also means, who do you trust with your ideas? And it doesn't have to be in a pillow talk way. Eighth house Gemini are like ideas you trust with other people, words you trust with other people, revelation of ideas you may trust with other people. But because it's also other people's money and other people's ideas, trusting in your vision, this is going to begin to like completely innovate, you know, what it is, how I think effortlessly you come into more money. And that 0 degree opposition, I think, is going to really begin to change the game, because by next year, it's going to be the same opposition and just at a higher degree. So this really is technically the start before Saturn is in Aries. Something we need to talk about, because now Saturn and Neptune going into Aries over the next 2 years with Saturn and 13 years with Neptune is going to reimagine the authenticity and the originality of your lifestyle. First of all, Saturn going through Aries is going to bring more autonomy in your day-to-day routine than ever. It's going to bring more discipline. So there might be difficulty in how you live your life, because you're being asked to be on top of your health and to be on top of how you live your life. But Neptune is going to really reimagine how supernaturally the actions you take induce fantasy-esque scenarios that completely transcend how it is you live your life. For Libra, we're calling it their dream life, because Pisces is the dream. But for Aries, this is more like, I don't even know what to call it, to be honest with you, but it's more like transcending who you are. It's almost like maybe not even needing to work to make a living, if that makes sense. You're able to just completely do you. But Saturn is going to add so much more discipline over the next years. So that's why the retrograde back into Pisces is reevaluating the belief systems around your creativity. And normally when Saturn goes through your fifth, it's going to make you so much more serious about what you love to do. Like Saturn going through one's fifth will take their, you know, hobby of playing guitar and make it into a serious profession. And then as it goes to the sixth, you're building a lifestyle around these talents that you're taking seriously. So the North Node, however, in the fifth from March to September has unlocked the independent support from real ones in your corner, 11th house Virgo, to support independence. In fact, when the North Node goes through your fifth, natally in your chart, it means being able to make a living off of your passions. And now transit wise, this could be a period where you're unlocking your talents. And then by September, it now broke through all the people who are in your corner who support what it is you do, enabling you to live the dream in a certain sense, or to really, of course, fully express your dreams. Neptune, of course, transcending what you think is possible. But now with this grand water trine, the nature of this creativity going back to Jupiter in the ninth is setting you up for success, because eventually we're going to have Saturn in your sixth, and then we're going to have Jupiter in Leo with the South Node in your 10th. So you have the North Node and Pluto in your fourth, Pluto, which is going to reawaken this cosmic celestial foundation and this knowledge, this inner knowledge of self, but also who it is you trusted with your private life. It's going to unlock this level of success next year and complete this evolution cycle since 2018 when Jupiter was in Scorpio. So this is the last bit of breakthrough. What I call this, especially for Scorpio risings, is your rising star year. For the Scorpio suns, Jupiter is making that 240-degree angle to your sun, and it's putting you in a position to now take, since the opposition in Taurus, how it is you're seeing the higher meaning of what you feel and how you're able to show people this deeper passion and to break through. All right. What level of not just emotional intelligence and compassion, but psychic power, superiority. All right. Really is preparing you for the 10th house, because once this goes into Leo, this is going to strengthen very courageously and passionately what kind of success you can hope to come into. I think it's going to be popping for everyone next year, but you're definitely going to enjoy putting yourself out there again in a way that not only has you really gained the spotlight, but completes like 10 plus years of work, while Saturn is now disciplining the consistency you can gain. That trine from 6 to 10 is going to be amazing. It's going to be really good. So until then, this grand water trine, while Jupiter is going to retrograde in your 9th, is just going to really have you reapproach your steps, retrace your steps in a certain year as well. Yup, like golden year. Yup. Oh, golden star year. Right. I said a rising star year. But I mean, you can literally say golden star year as well. You can literally say golden star, rising star. It's basically putting you in a position. When I went through Jupiter in my 9th house, this was a period where I started to actually gain more followers, gain more support. And then it goes into your 10th house, and then you achieve that success. So it's like that last push. It's expanding a lot of your philosophy and what it is you see through what you feel. If you think wisdom is able to show people the meaning of their feelings, or if when you psychoanalyze someone, you are showing someone the meaning of what they feel. That 9th house Cancer. And then of course, with Mercury going in the 2nd, this is immediately, I think, going to make you bank. And it can help you revisit June in Gemini season, where Jupiter left your 8th. A lot of the investments you made in other people with that final conjunction in Taurus in your 7th, the new moon we're going to have at the end of Scorpio season, opposite Uranus, as we can see right here, is going to not only activate this transformation of self for the last time with Saturn in Pisces, but it's going to be opposite Uranus. Okay. Mercury is going to have retrograded. So this is going to be that final breakthrough of the sun and Uranus here before we start to shift this into your financial houses. And it's going to really have you transform a lot of your personality or consciousness in order to match with this unconventional innovation of how you're holding space with other people in a tangible, practical way, and how unconventionally people are ready and willing to invest into you. Okay. So it's really cool stuff. I'm going to find better ways to really put this into words, because everything that I'm saying is still barely hitting the tip of the iceberg. Venus coming out of your 12th house, going into Scorpio, is also going to really polish this release of social activity, right? For you, unlike Taurus or Aries, because you have Libra in the 12th house, this is going to represent perhaps a hidden awareness and understanding of social activity and clandestine relationships and partnerships, nuances socially that you can release to mitigate trust issues and to now focus more on the individual and independent behavior that is expressed through Aries. And it's also kind of spilling the tea and showing you the secrets of, hidden enemies in these social circuits and in these social spaces. Okay. So as Venus will leave that and then go into Scorpio, it's going to beautify your personality for a Scorpio rising. It's going to polish your consciousness. It's going to attract a lot of love towards you or appreciation towards you, while you'll pass the Mars torch to Sagittarius. And then Mars is going to have the blicky. So you've had the blicky for a minute. Now Mars has the blicky. And yes, I said blicky. And when Mars goes into Sagittarius, now Mercury that had begun to show you what's possible and where you're diversifying your bonds, Mars is going to have you actually take action into, all right, I'm actually going to diversify this here. Blah, 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 blah. But it's also a really good return of investment that you could possibly do as well. Okay. It's cool. It's cool. So yeah. Libra Sun and Pluto 12th, right? Yeah, it's especially, okay, so having the 12th house space there, you're going to be aware of this hidden quality. But it's very fascinating to see social signs in the 12th because it's really flipping on its head a lot of how this really plays out versus being an individual, right? At a younger age, you're going to be a more subjective and imaginative. The older zodiac signs, you see more objective, social, more people, right? The more people, the more possibility objective, even though you can have groupthink and hive-mindedness. But that being said, very interesting. So yeah, of course, with Chiron in Aries, it's linking healing to your work. So it's interesting to see with people born with Chiron in the 6th, they're nurses, right? The work that they do involves healing, even if it's not strictly medical. For you, Chiron going through your 6th or integrating is also going to really, through your work environment, trigger you or trigger others so that there could be greater authenticity. Any which way, maybe in Scorpio, this will really hit home. If you're getting really triggered in your workplace, you're in the wrong workplace. Like if you're not able to, you're probably going to trigger others because you're too authentic, or you're going to be triggered because you're not being authentic enough. You being triggered means there's a level of inauthenticity that it has to be addressed, or I think you're the one triggering the shit out of others because they're not being authentic enough. And like they're saying you're coming on too strong. So, it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think with that being said, we can go to Pisces, last but not least. And Pisces, now, we know for you, this is really cool because you have Saturn and Neptune in your sign. So last time you sponsored Saturn was 1995. Yeah. And last time you sponsored Neptune was like Civil War era, the first Civil War. No. Before the first Civil War. So like whenever that was, I don't want to look it up, but 1800 or 17, I don't remember. But like shortly before that, literally like a year or two before that. So now you have both there. And this is completely what I think this means is you are actually behind the mass disillusionment that is occurring around the world. And it looks like it's Aquarius doing that. I don't necessarily want to mistake that with being woke, but I think before Neptune went into Pisces, you would think Neptune would make someone more delusional, which it does. But like before Neptune went into Pisces, I think you believed in the good in everything and everybody. And now that Neptune has left Pisces, you are so disillusioned with everything, you wouldn't be surprised if everyone is a sleeper cell agent. In fact, especially the Pisces suns and moon, and this is really retarded to say, but it's like you can see the sleeper cell agent in everyone. And this is where Pluto and Aquarius for Pisces risings and also for Pisces suns and moons is very difficult because now you're locked into a sense, feeling, and awareness out of this world that 99.9% of other people can't see, can't perceive. And like, oh, I need to find that meme. That's it. So this is like every Pisces right now. This has always been Pisces, but like Pluto in your 12th house is literally, it's a catch 22. The universe is showing you secrets about about itself and the collective, but the trade-off for knowing that is everyone will think you are delusional as fuck for the rest of your life. Like, you will never really convince people because they don't have the level of, you have extrasensory perception. So there's certain connections you can make that make all the sense in the world to you, but will look crazy to everyone else. And like, it's especially, and it betrays rationale. There's a certain level of rationale you actually can't have in order to understand what you're saying. People would have to kind of throw rationale out the window in order to truly grasp what you're saying, which is why it's going to feel like a curse. Okay? But that is teaching you to surrender the idea that you need to know and the idea that you kind of need to, every time you attempt to put it in this box of rationale, that's why you look crazy as fuck. Okay? Versus accepting how delusional it sounds and just flowing free. Because Pisces, I don't want to say Gemini is Pisces light, right? But like, Gemini understands how you feel. Gemini and Pisces feel freest when we don't care how fucking crazy we sound. Like, when we know people are going to call us crazy anyway, and we just go full fish tard. All right. When you go full fish tard, it's like you're in the avatar state. And that shit's gonna sound retarded to Virgo, but like, you're gonna be flowing in a way that makes sense to the right people. And you kind of exist outside of time and beyond time. So it's like somebody can walk, it's so weird. It's like somebody can walk into what you're saying, listen to what you're saying out of context, and it speaks exactly to everything they needed to hear, when what they heard may not even be the central point of what you were trying to make. It's like a multi-dimensional language where you can say the same thing that means multiple things to different people, right? Or it can mean the same thing to the same people. It's hard for me to put into words because it literally betrays a realistic sense of logic. Okay. And I'm glad you got back on this. Libra is not diet Sag, and Sag is diet Leo. Oh my God, you could, I wouldn't say they're diet Leo, but you could say Leo is definitely more thick. Sag is more wild and lighter. Sagittarius is light like a photon, a massless photon. But I didn't, maybe Leo light. You know what I'm saying? Leo light, they're literally a light. They're literally the light. I didn't think about that. Sagittarius will not admit that, but like that's so interesting. They probably say Leo that, but like that's so interesting. Gemini makes Pisces sound rational with words. Well, that's because Gemini is Pisces' fourth house. We're like the Pisces translators. So when Pisces enters this dimension, they're like a fairy king or queen who's not of this world. And so they need a translator to help them speak human. Okay. Yeah, Pisces wants to know if you have anything to eat here. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's not even a different language. It'll be like Aquarius. It'll be like, yeah, these mortals said they don't know magic. Yeah, no, these humans here, they don't really practice magic like that. So we call them muggles. Yeah, it's basically like that. Like they don't speak, like Pisces doesn't even try to speak human. Like it's cool. So Gemini is the foundational language, the fourth house, the home of Pisces, the belief, imagination. You need Gemini to put it into words. So it's this thought process that supports their belief of their experience, translating Virgo opposition into analysis. And then the completion of Pisces is Sagittarius, the vision that completes the belief and the imagination. Okay. And he swore he spoke my language. It is hit or miss. You see, the thing with Gemini and Pisces, we're mutable. So it's hit or miss. It's not fixed. Like either we translate and understand you or we gaslight the fuck out of you. Like Gemini and Pisces can clash because Gemini, the cool thing about Gemini and Pisces and then Sag and Virgo, so Gemini and Sag are masculine, and then Pisces, or we can say Gemini and Sag are positive polarity, and then Virgo and Pisces are negative polarity. But at the same time, Sagittarius and Virgo are yang. So Sagittarius is the yin of the yang, and then Virgo is yang yang. And then Pisces is yin yin, double yin, negative polarity. But then Gemini is the yang of the yin. This is why Gemini could be masculine and feminine. We're masculine, we're a positive yang yin polarity. We're a positive polarity, right? But we are yin. We are the yang of the yin. Sagittarius is the yin of the yang. So Virgo Earth is like the most masculine, I'm learning. And that's why the Yangers, the fire and the earth, they're all obsessed with cars. They're all obsessed with physical shit, like stuff that's more yang and masculine. And then the air and the water, they call us nerds because that's yin. Yin related shit is reading, it's books, it's programming, it's anime. And I started to realize, a lot of conflicts is really yin versus yang. The yang perpetually can't understand the yin. The yin understands the yang. The yang will always clash with the yin because they kind of retard. I mean, they're not as smart as the yin. But now without the yang, we not doing shit. Like the yin connects with the yang to build shit, to get stuff done. The yin has the blueprint. The yang brings it into reality, if that makes sense. So when we talk about yin, and I'm going to do a World War Zero episode about this soon. It's going to be the next part after this last episode. When we talk about the yin, right? Air and water, even though water is a negative polarity and air is a positive polarity, they're both yin because yin is going to be the imagination that's governed by the mind. Okay. Earth is physical. You could touch it. Fire burns the earth, right? It's the passionate that drives that. But your ideas, it's yin. You can't touch your ideas. You can't touch your imagination. It's your mind, your thoughts, the air that governs your feelings and your imagination. That's all yin. That's air and that's water. And so that makes water very unique because water is double negative. It's double yin, 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 negative polarity. it's pure potential. It's the nothingness with which you can create form from. And then yang brings life to that form. Okay, I learned that from Naruto. So with that being said, but the yin yin yang yin, I kind of pieced together in my head. It took me a bit to understand. And I needed some help, but I finally got it. So Pisces, right? Jupiter left your fourth house. Now it's in your fifth house of creativity in Cancer, and the retrograde that's happening out of your fifth house is putting you in a position to realistically, of course, fully express this embodiment of your beliefs through the function of feeling. So let's go back to the beginning, right? Where we said that you have the function of feeling and then you intensify that feeling and you have the experience of it. Well, you start at the experience. You start with the ghost emotion, right? You believe, if I believe I'm successful, then I can fully express creatively what that feels like. And I can feel success. I'm trying my best to make this analogy. And then now Scorpio in the ninth house is you being able to show the intensity of these creative feelings. So unlike Scorpio psychoanalysis that has the emotions they're showing the meaning of, right? And then Cancer, right? That has Pisces in the ninth house showing the meaning of beliefs. Well, Pisces has Scorpio in the ninth house, which shows the higher meaning of wisdom and psychoanalysis, right? If you think about Pisces as divine magic, Pisces as the dream or as divine magic shows you the meaning of the occult. If we look at Scorpio as a occult quality, it shows you the meaning of wisdom and psychoanalysis. In order to, of course, if we think of Pisces as metaphysical, a metaphysical extrasensory perception is going to show you the ninth house Scorpio higher meaning of what's hidden, of what's occult, right? Which is all unseen. That's the very controversial thing about this. That's why anyone who's ever said they've seen a ghost, I know they're lying, because you can't see a ghost. A spirit or a ghost exists outside of the third dimension and your ability to actually see with your eyes. It's something that you sense with your imagination. It's something you can hear. It's something you can sense with psychic senses. You cannot physically see a ghost. It is literally impossible. Your brain can trick you into seeing that, right? So when people see it, right, they're not necessarily seeing it with their physical eyes. They're seeing it with their vision and their imagination. And that's how people see them. That doesn't make the ghost any less real. Well, it's not real, but it exists in a sense. It's like a different frequency. Ghosts exist on a frequency. It's like seeing a ghost. Like the reason why you can't see certain colors, right? There's certain colors that exist, but they vibrate at a scale beyond the electromagnetic spectrum we can't see. That's like a ghost, if that makes sense. So a ghost would have to lower its vibration. If you think about angels, if you think about higher beings, they vibrate like photons, massless entities, quicker than that. And that enables these beings to look at your reality from a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional perspective. So like the way we can look at a 2D surface and see its completeness, a ghost, right? And see, that's a really good question. What about a ghost moving and knocking over things? So like if you were to see a 2D substance and you were to pass it through, right? That 2D substance is only going to see a slit. It's not going to see everything, right? I'm going to hypothetically theorize a ghost-like experience is an extra dimensional entity trolling or interacting with your third dimension where they can see the panoramic view of all the time you've lived, but you're experiencing it in one cross section. So it's going to look like it's coming in and out, if that makes sense. And that's why it's very important. Like, your vision of a ghost is going to be limited by your brain's third dimensional cross section that you see it within. That's why I can listen to someone describe their experience with a ghost and I know they're lying, because you're trying to explain it like it's a third dimensional entity. And that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Not how mediumship works. You know what I mean? That's like people using telekinesis when they move stuff. And it's very easy to tell who's just making shit up and who really has these experiences. That's the Virgo Pisces translation. Because people who are legit, they will not tell you tales. They will give you receipts. They'll be like, hey, I heard of someone named Gretchen, and she was letting me know that your lock screen code is 5443. And now the person you're saying that to is, I never told anyone that's my code. And my grandma's name is Gretchen. You're talking about my grandma. She recently died. Receipts versus people who just kind of like are vague. That's why I'll call myself out for being vague, because we can give into our own bias and kind of like, you know, push around. Predictions are specific. And when you're practicing the craft, it can start off vague. You're getting a feel for it. But like when you know you've mastered it, it's precise, it's specific. So now with Sagittarius, with Mercury and Mars that are going to go into your 10th house in Sagittarius, this is going to show you the reasoning loop you've completed. So the eclipse we've had in your first house as a Pisces rising, or over your sun, or over your moon, has unlocked your divine being. It's unlocking the divinity of your being. It's testing the totality of your belief in yourself and how well you believe in yourself. That's why for Pisces, this has been so much tougher on you than any other sign. If Pisces are struggling right now, you don't really get things easy because you're at the top of the penthouse. It's okay if Cancer struggles to believe. They get gaslighted every fucking day. They're going to be given more grace. They're like a kid. Aries is like a baby. Aries is going to get pampered by the universe. Pisces, you're the closest thing to God. You, Aquarius and Capricorn and Sag, you are the closest thing to God. Nobody gives a fuck if you don't believe in yourself. Like, figure it the fuck out. Figure it the fuck out. We honestly have no compassion. You motherfuckers are so magical. Like, you literally can snap your fingers and make shit happen. So, like, if you don't believe in yourself, boo fucking who? You need to figure, like if you and you know how magical you are too. You know how magical you are too. You have stories of this. So Saturn is testing your belief in yourself. It's like, all right, go do your little magical shit. Get out this impossible situation. And you can. This is actually preparing to make you more powerful than you've ever been in existence. Especially with Neptune, a once in a lifetime cycle. A lot of people do not know how magical you are. Even me saying this, I have an idea of how magical you are that still doesn't really go into how truly magical you are. And by magic, I mean presence. So what I said about Scorpio applies to you on a collective level. You literally can shift situations just by saying it. Okay? A lot of people don't know that about you. So like Saturn is putting you in a position to really make sure you really believe in yourself. And it's unlocking this sense of weight and karma that comes through this. So September was where now you started to analyze your influence and presence with other people. Libra applied this shift of behavioral patterns that you apply with other people. And Scorpio is showing you the higher wisdom around this, because now Mercury crossing the threshold of Uranus in your fourth is innovating the way you see success. Because what's going to happen is this year is going to show you how effortless it is for you to create the world and success you want. And once you do that, once Saturn and Neptune go into Aries, it's instant manifestation city. It's showing you this breakthrough of Mercury and Mars into your 10th is, wait a minute, it's that simple? So it's like you're coming into the realization that you're so magic, you've been handicapping yourself. And a lot of that is Pluto coming into the 12th. It's this unconscious sense of guilt that you have to release because you're one of the 4 antisocial personalities. So there's certain social expectations people expect from you that don't really apply to you because you're not even real. You don't even exist, right? I don't know how to say this. Doesn't make sense. So like there's a certain effort, there's certain work that people expect from you that you really don't have to do, right? Like thankfully I've studied Pisces. So like when I had my team, there was a certain workflow that I expected people on my team to do. Like, please, you guys, upload a video every week. You know what I mean? Put yourself out there. I didn't tell Kobe to do that shit because Kobe didn't have to do shit and he was still outselling everybody on the team. And he did not put out one video. So like, there's a certain social expectation of you need to be productive, you need to be working this much hours a week, you need to be. Pisces don't have to do that shit. They can if they want, and there are many Pisces who work hard, but like especially with Neptune, that is forcing non-dualism on you. Non-doing. Pisces is embodying the non-doing, the predeterministic quality that everything has already happened at once. It was literally fucking crazy. Shout out to Cosmic Drugs, Capricorn, putting in the work, was also top 3, but this nigga did literally nothing. And he still sold though. Just word of mouth. And he's still the top anchor on our team. It's crazy. And the only way I could rationalize that was this motherfucker a Pisces. So that's the only reality. Like, of course that shit no way. This is some Pisces shit. Ain't no way. Because never, it is what it is. But I respect, this is why Pisces, I respect. Aquarius and Pisces are the only 2 signs I really respect. And it's this transcendence of social expectations as well as collective ones that you need to release that guilt of feeling like you have to do it the way that these muggles. All right. When I talk to Aquarius, we're going to say these human beings. We're going to talk to Aquarius like they're aliens and we're addressing mortals. These human beings don't know anything. When I talk to Pisces, you're the master magician and these other motherfuckers is muggles. Are you letting muggles dictate your reality? If you are, that's why you're blocked. You truly are never blocked in manifestation. You can't in life. There's nothing blocking you, right? But if you are experiencing delays, if you are experiencing some element of like dissatisfaction, if certain things aren't working right, you at some element in your life are letting a muggle dictate what you believe or what you do. Test me on this. Look at everything you're doing that may not be working and see what are you not listening to yourself, and instead you're listening to someone who doesn't even believe in magic. When you're telling them your magical observations, they're like, no, be realistic. And you're literally handicapping yourself to make sense to a motherfucker that can't even perceive half of what you can perceive. And when I say I mean in a condescending way. All right. They're bringing in this magic elitism. I want you to be a magic elitist for the rest of the year. Like, you don't even know any magic spells. You have to have that energy. I know. It is what it is. I know it is what it is. This is really the best way to break through this. And now Mercury breaking through the 10th is going to wrap your ideas around how your goals are shifting with this realization. And then Mars is going to go through and you're going to start taking action ahead of time to really step into this success. Which, Colby, I think Mercury and Mars going through your 10th house is you being invited on that podcast. So like MC Sagittarius, your legacy is to be seen. So it's like you're being seen with higher eyes. You're going to take these steps so that when the sun goes into Sagittarius, it just clicked for me right now. When the sun goes into Sagittarius, you'll be aware of you accomplishing these goals, which is going to be a completion of the eclipse from March to September, where everything you believed you could be through September, you began to express that through others. And now at the end of the year, you're seeing, oh, wow, look at what I accomplished. And Jupiter that's retrograding back into Cancer is going to reevaluate how your creativity really sets this type of thing up. Okay. Oh, yeah, astrocartography too. Maybe the approach towards it as well. Okay. So, yeah. We're gonna revisit this more when we actually come into Sagittarius season, because Scorpio will really transform your approach. And remember, by the time we come into Scorpio season next year, Saturn and Neptune's in your second house, so it's gonna really construct this original sense of wealth, your self-esteem. You're gonna have a total control over your self-esteem and worth, because now it's like you're seeing, oh wow, it really is effortless for me. I've really been complicating this for no reason. And that's where we're going to stop. Okay. I think we're going to reconvene on Saturday for the cosmic energy tune-up. If it's not, I think that, okay, no, that's probably next Saturday. Let's see. Yeah, next Saturday. No, this Saturday. So this Saturday, we're going to do the cosmic energy tune-up. And then, I gotta share the link. Yeah. And then, of course, next week we'll do the tarot. So thank you guys. That was definitely very fun. And whether you do it or not, I think you'll be good, bro. I think you'll be good. But because it's not like you're hesitating for no reason. But yeah, with that being said, you guys stay blessed. I'll catch you for that. I think what I might do instead is push the tune-up to after the tarot card readings. So it's Thursday in about a week from now. It'll be... Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because by next... Oh, what? November? Wait. That's not true. October... So tomorrow is going to be, okay, so Sunday. So we can do Moon in Pisces, or a week from then we can do Moon in Cancer. I like Moon in Pisces. We can do it this Saturday. November starts this week. We could do it this Saturday. So yeah. I'll catch you guys on Saturday. You guys stay blessed as always. And until next time, peace.
Supernatural is an app where you can access exclusive content from the Peace Dealer. On the app features 2 seasons of the Midheaven podcast featuring Beyond the Veil. We also have Mystical Illuminations Television, which features membership-exclusive content like the monthly tribe reports and the replays of the monthly peace reports we do every month. We also have exclusive series like World War Zero and Astrological Profiles. These series are examples of content that you can access on the app before they are eventually scheduled to YouTube and other social media platforms. For example, my Planets Through the Sign series will be scheduled to release once a week. However, as they are uploaded on the app, you will have full access to the entire series weeks before any of them appear on any other platform. We also offer easily accessible and interactive courses like my Astro 101 to Astro 105 series that give you a thorough introduction to astrology. We will also be periodically adding courses, and as those courses are available, members will be able to access them. We also have an amazing community that you are most welcome to join and chat with other like minds. It is not necessary to subscribe in order to use this app, as there is also a free default access plan that will give you access to most of the series in the app that are free and publicly available. In order to join, go to the website supernatural.passion.io. You can alternatively download from the App Store passion.io. Once the app is downloaded and it asks to find an app, simply type in Supernatural. Once the app itself is approved by Google and Apple, you will only need to type in Supernatural in the App Store and it will pop up. But until then, those are two alternative methods you can use to join us. So with all that being said, I look forward to you joining us on the other side as you become supernatural.